Officials are still waiting to give us any confirmed information other than there was a plane crash in the field right behind me. We've seen Med Force up in the air for at least about 20 minutes. It looks like they have just landed now. As you can hear, well over 24 hours into the strike, support is coming in strong for people all over the Quad Cities, right outside the Harvester Works. Sharon, there appears to have been an accident right behind me on Davenport Avenue and Kimberly Road. On the road, we see that there is a bicycle, a water bottle, and a helmet. There is also a victim on the scene. For over 3 hours, Davenport police have been on the scene investigating on 14th Street and Farnham. There are over half a dozen Davenport squad cars here, as well as the crime scene unit, and the coroner just showed up as well. Yet another shooting in Davenport with one man in the hospital after getting shot this afternoon. Just a few hours ago, this parking lot behind me was full of Davenport police. In the last few minutes, though, it did escalate. As you can see on the courthouse, there were a few objects thrown at the windows. Yes, Sharon, we're at Central DeWitt, one of the many caucus locations available in Iowa. All of the caucuses will have a similar setup to this. Sharon, Mercado on 5th is my favorite thing about the Quad Cities. It just kicked off a few minutes ago, and it is feeling like the start of summer. David, this is the one night a year that I can show my true identity, and we have tons of other superheroes here. We've seen Iron Man, Spider-Man, no Superman yet, though I'm keeping my eye out for him.
Montse, you are a confident skater because you're doing this on live TV.
I don't know about confident, but I'm hopeful I don't fall. So we are at Frozen Landing in Bettendorf. From over 100 people on the picket line just a few days ago to 4. Per the temporary injunction granted by an Iowa judge, United Auto Workers are only allowed 4 people per gate at the Davenport Works facility. The injunction says from October 14th to 19th, those on strike were blocking traffic, trespassing onto property, as well as, quote, harassment, intimidation, mass picketing, and other indirect forms of violence and unlawfulness. This all comes 1 week after UAW and John Deere failed to come to a new contract because union members say they didn't see a livable wage or adequate retirement and health care plans. Deere claims they've suffered and will continue to feel, quote, substantial and irreparable injury if that kind of picketing were to continue. Starting fires will no longer be permitted either, which some union members are concerned about considering the temperatures drop overnight and winter is approaching. Union members I spoke to say this injunction only fuels their morale and reminds them why they're fighting. They continue to say they will not back down. Over 100 residents found this letter on their doors in June. A letter from Crestwood Property Management saying the property has been put up for sale and all tenants must leave their apartments.
We have no idea where we're going to go. We have the money, we have the deposit, we have the first month's rent, we have everything. We just have nobody to take us.
Danica Melhorn says her family has contacted over 40 apartments and housing units, but it's nearly impossible to get affordable housing on such short notice.
Everybody had 2 weeks, a month to find somewhere to live, and there's not enough properties in Quad Cities for anybody to go.
Organizations like Salvation Army have stepped up to try and help prevent homelessness for these families.
This is a huge problem, and it's going to continue to get worse. We've only been at the tip of the iceberg at this point. When the moratorium lifts at the end of this month, you're going to have people who are getting evicted left and right. And we're trying to reach out to get people to call us first so we can hopefully prevent that. But there are some of them that are unpreventable at this point. And once that continues to happen, you're having more people come into the homeless population.
There are already over 50 families on the waiting list for shelters at the Salvation Army and possibly hundreds more on the streets. Crestwood apartments have reportedly seen months of neglect.
The city has marked it as uninhabitable, so that means that people have to get out. There are really bad apartments. People have holes in the wall. One of them has a wall pushed in. Some of them don't have water, except for water that's coming through when it rains. And so they're really bad living conditions. And so they need to be able to be in there, but they literally have nowhere else to go.
Keep the prayers up for us all, because I really don't think we're all going to find housing in time. I think a lot of people are going to be homeless or living in their cars.
Surveillance video shows a black Chevy Malibu following a runner through Brooklyn, Iowa. Christian Baena Rivera admits That was his vehicle, and he had followed Molly Tibbetts because she was attractive.
He told me he saw her running, again, 3 times. One of those times he parked his car behind her, ran after her or jogged after her, came close to her that she noticed him. She turns around, makes the attempt to use his cell phone to call the police. At this point, Mr. Rivera told me that he got angry and that is when they started fighting.
Former officer Pamela Romero says Rivera told her when he gets angry, he blacks out.
He remembers that there was blood. He told me that he took her out of the car, put her on top of his shoulder, carried her inside into the cornfield, laying her down, covering her with corn leaves, and leaving right away.
Romero read him his Miranda rights in Spanish, to which Rivera declined. So Romero pressed on in the interview.
What did you do to her? His answer was, I brought you here, didn't I? So that means that I did it. I don't remember how I did it.
Second annual party in the park, bringing neighbors together with local officials and law enforcement.
Interacting with the kids, playing basketball, that's definitely the highlight of my day, that's for sure.
Events like these kind of help show everyone else that, we are a community and we all want to support each other, and it brings everybody together to have a good time and get to know each other better, so we kind of understand where everyone's coming from.
After a recent uptick in violence in Davenport, some say it's crucial we get to know one another.
We get the community back together right now and opening up, after COVID and everything, to let them know that we have resources out there that are available to just about anything.
Let's all find a nice, wonderful time in a park and the weather and get to know each other. And if the more we can get to know each other, the better the place is.
More than just a game of basketball in the park. It's a way for kids to get to know police.
I'm glad we get to do this kind of stuff because not everybody gets to see this side of the police department, the fire department, the city itself. So knowing that we want to be a part of the community as much as they are is it's a big deal to us.
Especially when the police got into the game, it showed me that there's no hard feelings against anybody. Everyone is just cool. So it kind of changed my perspective because I had some bias towards the police, especially how I grew up. So it just showed me that it's not like that. It's all love.